Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to everyone to our Ask UWI session in geography. Again, a special good afternoon to all our attendees who I'm seeing are logging in and coming in slowly but surely, and a special welcome to all of you to our Ask UWI session on geography. Now, just a reminder, we really have these Ask UWI sessions to ensure that you who are thinking about signing up with us here at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, you have an opportunity to get all your questions answered, to have all your queries responded to. Maybe you're not sure about something, and that is what we're here to do this afternoon. My name is Nataki Kerr. I'm the brand manager and student recruitment marketing person here at the University of the West Indies, and it's my pleasure to host you through this afternoon's proceedings. This afternoon, I have with me a very esteemed panel from our FFA, as we fondly call the faculty, our Faculty of Food and Agriculture. And we have persons here who know everything you need to know about doing a BSc in geography. We have with us Dr. Keegan Farrick, I'll introduce him again just now. He's going to come in and explain about all the career opportunities available. We have Ms. Saida Ali, who's here again. She will always also be able to let us know about the courses and the structure of the courses. So maybe you have some questions on exactly what you'll be doing. She'll come in and tell us about that just now. And then we have Ms. Luana Ramgati here from our admissions team. And she's always here to give us any information we need to get about what we need to apply. Because remember, the deadline date for applications for our program is July 31st. So you want to make sure you have all the information you need to be able to sign up with us and to be here with us from September 2024. So that's July 31st. Make sure and remember that date. So I'd like to encourage you guys, if you have any questions, again, feel free to put it in our chat. We have a very able-bodied chat support team waiting in the background to answer all your questions as soon as we can. Also, if maybe we want to hear your voice, so you want to share with us and chat with us, use your raise hand tool, and we would allow you to ask your question because we would love to hear your voice. So again, use our chat. It's here for you to answer all your questions. Our team is waiting and ready. So let's get right to it. First, let me introduce Dr. Farrick. This is Dr. Keegan Farrick, who is going to tell us a bit about the program and discuss the career paths and the career opportunities available to you, because I know sometimes you may be interested in the program, but you're not sure what you can do afterwards. So he is here to explain all of that. Dr. Farrick.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you a lot, Ms. Kerr, for the introduction, and I hope everybody is hearing me okay. So today, hopefully I'll be a bit brief and a bit engaging enough for our participants. And I'm just here to talk a little bit more about geography, what it is, and then some of the career options and the skill sets and so on that you would gain by doing a major in geography. So if you would just share my screen with everyone. All right. So welcome to the world of geography. It's an exciting discipline and one that's so important for our world and many of the problems that we face today. And you can see just from this picture is actually one of our really exciting courses where we do a field course and a field school in Tobago. So we would have just completed this recently. So for many people, I think a lot of people often tend to associate geography with making maps, right? So what comes to mind for a lot of people when you think about geography? And that's often, well, we can use it to make a map. And while that's very true, okay, it is quite true, geography as a discipline offers so much more. And hopefully in the session today, you'll be able to get a bit more of that information and understand a lot more about what it is we do in geography and what options there are in terms of careers and the life ahead of you when you complete a degree in geography. So I often like to say that geography is a degree that opens doors to the world. All right, it's literally something that we look at in terms of studying the globe. So geography really focuses on studying and understanding our environment and all of the complexities and the interactions and those relationships among the society and the natural environment. And what we often like to say is that geography is everything, because it literally means the study of the earth. So unlike a lot of other disciplines that may focus on one or maybe two areas, what really makes geography unique is that it brings together a lot of different disciplines. So geography actually brings together the natural sciences, it brings together social sciences and humanities. And then, I mean, if we talk about the GIS, there's a lot of computing and technology that's incorporated into the degree. So as a geographer, you actually get a handle and an understanding on a lot of different aspects and a lot of different sub-disciplines within the program. And because you're exposed to so much as a geographer, I like to say as well that in our department, we're not just creating citizens in Trinidad and Tobago, all right? But we are also creating global citizens, ones who can see the big picture, right? People who can see the big picture in everything. So if you're excited, if you like traveling, if you like doing different things, then this is definitely a degree for you. In terms of our training in the program, geography really trains very, very unique grads to solve the challenging issues. And we know in this day and age, we have so many challenging issues, from climate change, natural disasters. I mean, I would have put, you can see here, we talk about migration. So as a geographer, we actually deal with issues on migration. There were recent reports and so on, drought, and we're looking at low levels in this Penal reservoir and dam in Trinidad. And these are things that you would touch on in geography. And what makes it such a unique discipline, and I find myself doing this as well as a lot of students, is that you may go to a situation, and we look at this Venezuelan migration, and as a geographer, you will think about the displacement of people, but automatically in your mind, you think about, okay, what impact it may have on water resources? How does this impact on an economy? What are the social dynamics? We're looking at political issues. We're looking at mapping and modeling people and other different types of things like that, right? So I think it's one of the things that makes it really, really unique, right? And because it allows you to see this really big perspective from the get-go. In terms of skills, right? And I mean, you as a new student coming in, you sort of want to know and get a sense as to what do I learn in this program. So I did a very quick deep dive, looking at LinkedIn and some of the skills, some of the top skills for 2024. And you'll be very pleased to know, right, that when you actually complete the degrees and you enter into our program, that you cover a lot of the top skills that are needed for you when you start to transition and translate into the working world. So you would cover things like communication, effective leadership in team and group work, right? Analytical type of thinking and work. So we deal with different numbers. You get a lot of experience with different types of skills. You learn how to do interviews, questionnaires, do stats, right? The social science aspect, but it's all of the quantitative, water quality, mapping, looking at coastal systems, climate change, all of that, right? Strong teamwork building skills, project management, because we tend to have a lot of courses that have huge, like we actually give you like real applied projects, problem solving skills, management skills, and research skills. So you're guaranteed when you do this degree with us and you're exposed to geography that you're going to definitely cover some of these top skills that are required in 2024. And I know a lot of you are often interested in the careers, right? You do this degree in geography and you want to know, well, what do I do after? Well, I'm pleased to let you know that when you do a degree in geography, because the degree itself is so broad and it offers a lot of flexibility, it actually opens you to an extremely wide range of careers. So I actually only put a couple of things in here, and I sort of broke it down by sort of topics and things that we would cover in the program. But when you actually look into different types of careers that you can do in geography, it is extremely, extremely wide. So let's say, for instance, you are interested in more human geography. So you get into the political and cultural geography, right? You can have a wide range of careers. This includes a policy consultant, a lobbyist. You can look at ethnic cultural studies teachers. You can get into history, right? If you're interested in more physical geography, so you're interested in looking at weather, climate, natural hazards, for instance, you can become a climate change analyst, a climatologist. So we have a lot of people who've gone into the meteorological offices, for instance, as graduates from our program. You can be a water resource specialist, coastal managers, environmental scientists. If you're interested in things like hazards and disasters, you can be an emergency management specialist, etc. For GIS, remote sensing, if you're really interested in those areas, you can become a geospatial information scientist, GIS developer. So this is really interesting. So actually developing some of the tools that people will be using to actually work on GIS with. We've had people who've gone on from our department who've become pilots, right? So, I mean, geographers often think very spatially, again, are quite good with maps and good with the technology. So people have gone on to become pilots, transportation planners. And then for some of us who are very interested in more of an interdisciplinary perspective. So you love all aspects of geography, right? You love human, you love physical, you love GIS. You can become things like an international development specialist or an urban and regional planner, humanitarian affairs analyst. So we actually have students who've graduated and have become very involved in areas of the UN, working with migrants, working with displaced persons, for instance. We have students who work, who would have done communications as a minor and have gone on to become environmental journalists. But as a geographer, because you see a big picture and you get that training as an undergrad student, it really allows you to transition into programs well, because you can sit at any table, and when people start talking about something, you're like, hey, I learned about that. I touched on that in my undergrad degree. So I kind of understand what you're talking about. May not be my specialty, but I get what you're talking about. And that's what really allows them to transition into such a wide ranging world of careers. So, I mean, I'm almost done, right? This is more or less my last slide when we talk about our graduates and careers. And I just wanted to highlight that when you do a degree in geography, it's a globally accepted discipline. So all around the world, there are people who would have done degrees in geography. And very similar and accredited, likewise, that we have offered here at UWI. And our grads, because of that, have been able to move. And like I said before, they're global citizens and settle and work in different countries around the world. And when people leave and transition, it's been very, very easy for people to find and establish their careers in different countries around the world. So when you come here and you do this particular degree, you're not only opening doors for working in Trinidad and the region, but by extension, you now have the opportunity to travel around the world and potentially work in whatever field you decide, which is really, really exciting. And even locally and regionally, we have graduates in all sorts of different areas, the Institute of Marine Affairs, the EMA, ODPM, Cropper Foundation, SEDIMA, they work in with NGOs, private sector, all sorts of different fields. So basically the sky is the limit here for you graduating with a degree in geography, because it really, really opens doors to such a vast set of careers. So, I mean, that more or less brings me to the end of it in terms of careers and just explaining what a degree in geography is. And I know my colleague will explain a little bit more and go into a little bit more detail on the breakdown of the programs and its flexibility and so on. So thanks again for listening.
Thanks very much, Dr. Farag. That was an excellent way to open the session, because I really believe this is one of the things that all the persons here on this chat, they really want to know what exactly or what areas of opportunity are available for them afterwards. And a special welcome again to some of the persons who I saw logged in. We have Alicia and Junior and Kadia and Amelia and a whole host of others. welcome to our session. And in case you missed it, this session is for you to ask all the questions you need to ask. So feel free to put your questions in our chat. Our chat support team is eagerly awaiting all your questions. We will soon put a link in the chat where if you need to get further information on the degree and whatever options there may be, we'll put that link in the chat soon. We will also put an email address there for you. So in case maybe the session is finished and you thought about something you didn't get a chance to ask, you can email us on that particular email. So you could send your messages there and our team is ready and waiting to respond to you all as soon as possible. So don't be shy. Let's hear from you, okay? So I'm going to introduce our next speaker right away. She's right there smiling at us. That is Miss Saida Ali. And she is going to tell us a bit, as Dr. Farik said, about the courses you can do and the flexibility you have and a couple other gems she's going to share with us. So Ms. Ali, on to you.
Myself. Thank you. So I'm going to start to dive deeper with the geography program and the benefits of doing a major in geography. Now, Dr. Farik spoke at length about all the different aspects of the discipline. And so I just have a little graphic here to show you that geography is such a broad topic. It's such a vast discipline that is integrated, that is interdisciplinary. And there's so many different aspects that geography covers, including physical geography, which incorporates geology and pedology, human geography, which has aspects of population, social sciences, economics, history. And then there are also geographic techniques like GIS and cartography, remote sensing that also give such a key large amount of skills that you as a graduate coming through this program can learn. And so when you finish your major in geography, you have a wide range of career options available to you from doing this program, from having an understanding of all of the topics that we cover in this program. And so all of these courses is going to teach you a lot of transferable skills that you could use, that you could later specialize on if you're interested in doing master's or PhD after your BSc. And then because geography incorporates all of the aspects of our environment, from agriculture to industry, economy, weather and climate, all of those stuff that Dr. Farik just spoke about. You as a graduate with your geography major will come out of this program with the knowledge and the ability to really tackle challenging interdisciplinary issues. So like Dr. Farik said, you could go into any discussion about anything that's going on in the world and be able to contribute something because you have this knowledge of everything that's ongoing. And so what does a geography major program look like in terms of courses and structure? Here we have just a breakdown of what your major in geography looks like for semester 1 and 2. And the geography department also offers a major in environmental and natural resource management. So for both majors, you have 2 courses each per semester. Semester 1, human geography, population, migration and settlement, earth environments 1, geomorphology and soils. And then semester 2 will be human geography 2, world economy, climate, agriculture and food, and then earth environments 2, climate and the biosphere. This is under the major in geography. And if you're also doing the major in environmental and natural resource management, your first courses would be Introduction to Environmental and Natural Resource Management and Soils and the Environment. And then semester 2 would be Introduction to Natural Resource Economics and Ecology and Microbiology. And so this is what your first introductory courses will look like in year 1. And what a year 1 student timetable schedule exactly looks like is up here on the top right. You have your 4 courses that you'll be doing, and you could see that within this structure, within your first student timetable, you have a lot of free time outside of your courses that you could study, that you could learn, that you could develop your own interests more at the university. And not only these courses in person and online. So we have a blended delivery in our geography and ENR program. So those of you who might be interested in pursuing the program part-time, where there are online classes. You'll have recordings available for you to review at your own time. And also within the program, there is some flexibility with the amount of coursework there is. Some courses are between 40% to 100% coursework. And so what that means, which is good for incoming students, is that there is no heavily weighted final exam. You know, sometimes your final exam may not really be, it's definitely always anxiety inducing, but may not capture your knowledge of everything as a student. So having a high amount of coursework built into courses, make sure you don't have that heavily weighted final exam, and really pushes you to propel further and do better in the course ultimately. All right. And for more details on the course listing itself and how to choose your course structure throughout, you could use this code on the bottom left here and find more program details on our website. So this is this, just scan this code and it'll take you straight to the Department of Geography website, and under programs has the entire listing of both majors and what is available. Now, when it comes to the flexibility of the program, when you get to your second year and your third year, you have more ability to choose courses that links to a career you're really interested in, or choose courses that really align you into interest you're more interested in. All right, so we have on our webpage as well, we have a link of a list of many different geography careers, from geoprocessing specialist, emergency management specialist, risk management specialist, or humanitarian program manager, diplomat, and a number of others, right? And under each of these geography careers, we have a list of the geography courses that you could do that will align you directly into that career path. All right, so we have that for geography careers and ENRM careers, water quality scientist, the restoration ecologist or manager, sustainability consultant. So exactly what type of career under the environmental and natural resource management program you'd be interested in. You can find a direct guide in how to help you best choose your courses, the most specialized courses in years 2 and 3, that will take you into the career path you're interested in. All right, and again, all of this information, more course listing and more career listing, is available on our department website under programs, and there's a banner straight at the top about select your courses for your careers. All right, and also very important to note is that all of our courses from the geography department really enhances your technical skills in the course that you are studying. So there's a great technical aspect in each of them, from soil sensing, from coastal geomorphology, measuring rivers, being able to do hydrological measurement, river measurements as well. All right, so we have a lot of technical skills incorporated in all of our courses, as well as field experience. Going on the field, going to collect data on the field, and exposure with local environmental agencies. So you have that, that connection to local agencies in doing your courses as well, giving students of the program good exposure for when they're ready to go out into the world of work. And the aspect of our current theme globally is how sustainable, how to tackle the sustainability issue. All right, so geography, through the geography program, you learn a lot of tools and techniques and methodologies that really tackles the sustainability issue that is faced globally currently, and specifically the Sustainable Development Goals. And so here we have a couple of key themes under geography that tackles sustainability. Beginning with this first one, climate change mitigation and adaptation. You could identify and manage areas for carbon storage, such as forests, wetlands, and this supports climate action. And we do that in this program. Socioeconomic planning is also an aspect of our program where you learn spatial analysis, which helps to reduce inequalities under SDG 10, support the development of resilient infrastructure under SDG 9 by planning transportation networks, energy distribution, and communication systems. You also learn resource management skills. With geospatial technologies, you can aid in managing agricultural resources efficiently, promoting zero hunger, and can help manage water resources to ensure SDG 6, clean water and sanitation as well. Next, we also incorporate sustainable management of ecosystems in our program. That is, teach you how to map and protect biodiversity hotspots. This sort of skill supports life below water and life on land. Monitoring and evaluation, of course, is an element throughout. Environmental monitoring contributes to goals like climate action and life on land. In the program, you also learn how to do health and demographic studies, and this supports good health and well-being, SDG 3. Definitely spatial analysis and mapping is present in our program, learning how to map vulnerabilities, resource distribution, and urban planning. This assists in SDG 11 to designing sustainable cities and communities. And finally, of course, education and awareness as aspect of our program, where students learn an enhanced understanding of global issues, supporting quality education, SDG 4, and being able to do public engagement with maps and spatial data visualizations, effectively communicate complex issues, drive public action, and promote partnerships for the goals. Now, all these geography themes and tools and resources itself come from these courses, right? So here's a breakdown of the courses. In blue, we have these courses under the geography major, and black are the courses under the ENR major that particularly tackle these skills for the SDGs that I just covered in terms of specific SDGs. All right, so we have a lot of programs like, as of courses like the Geographical Information Systems or Geomorphology, which would incorporate a number of different skills, but all of these are key technical aspects you'll come out of our program with the ability to do. Dr. Farik, is there anything you want to add about geography and sustainability?
No. I think you've covered it, but I would probably say that we are working towards increasing the sustainability aspects even more, and looking at new potential additions and revisions to our program, so that we ensure that not only Trinidad, but the wider Caribbean is prepared as we're globally transitioning towards a more sustainable society.
Okay, thanks very much, Dr. Farik, and thank you so much, Ms. Ali. I think that if anyone had any questions about our courses and about really being part of the solution, they got them answered, because I know sometimes we are seeing all these current issues going on and we're not sure how we can play a role in the solution. And I think if someone is really of that ilk, that this program is the program for you. Similarly, I just want to remind all our guests here this afternoon, I saw a couple others came on, Maya, Messiah, etc. All of you, Kathleen, special welcome. Please use our chat. It's there to answer all your questions. We're really happy to have you here, and we want to make sure you have all your queries answered so you could sign up with us to do a major in geography or anything else actually before our July 31st deadline, because that's our deadline date for applications for our September 2024 intake. So we want to make sure you have all your questions answered. We have our chat team who are eagerly awaiting your questions. And actually, I have a question for Dr. Farik, but I'll hold that question until after I introduce our next speaker. She is Miss Luana Ramjati, and she is from our admission section. And I know that some of you really want to know what are the pre-requirements if you have to do a major in geography, and she's just going to tell us a little bit about what you need. Luana?
Hi, good afternoon. So for entry into the BSc Geography, in addition to having 5 CXC passes inclusive of mathematics and English, you can have any 2 Cape Science subjects, one of which must be Geography at CSEC, or you can have 2 Cape Science subjects, one of which must be Geography or Environmental Science, or either one of our certificates, the certificate in Environmental Geography or the certificate in Agriculture, or an approved associate degree with a minimum GPA of 2.5.
Okay, thanks very much, Luana. So if any of you all weren't sure what you need to sign up, she just encapsulated it there. And of course, if you need us to repeat anything, or if you have a little question about the pre-requirements, use your raise hand tool. Let's hear your voice. Or if you're a little bit shy, send your questions in our chat, and our team is very happy to answer all your questions. So before we move on a little bit, I want to just ask Dr. Farik, can you just explain to us what is GIS so that we all are on the same page?
Okay, I can go a little bit into detail on it.
Sure.
Right. So GIS it's a tool, right? So it's a type of computer system that we use to analyze geospatial or geographical data. So it's when we have different types of data that you would collect. So for instance, a good example that maybe a lot of people may be familiar with or would have remembered is during the pandemic, for instance, we would have these press conferences, and they would show you those maps of the distribution of COVID cases and different things like that. And that's a very good example of using GIS. So in using GIS, you capture this information spatially, and it allows you to represent the information. But aside from that, you can then start to actually utilize these tools for analyzing information, right? So even if you like, for instance, you love geography, but some people, for instance, they may not like always going out in the hot sun all the time, being a physical geographer, always having to be out there. For those of you who would prefer and have a strong interest in computing, IT, and so on, utilizing the GIS tools are really interesting, because again, it's capturing imagery from satellites, from drones, and looking at it over a very, very large scale to understand what's actually happening on the Earth itself.
Okay. Thanks very much, Dr. Farik. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us about GIS?
Well, yeah, I have a little bit of I can probably give you a very short presentation, just to kind of to talk a little bit more about it. So
I may stop you in between just in case we have any questions, but sure.
Okay.
Let's start off there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very, very very short.
No problem.
All right. So again, like I was chatting about, we do have some information here about what GIS is and what we utilize it for, right? So it really allows us to combine all sorts of different types of data. You want to know about people, you want to know how people move, you want to know about water, you want to know about climate systems, the tracking of storms, right, through different areas. All of that is part of these geographic information systems. So it really has a very, very wide variety and range of uses. You can see that I have on the top a picture that people would know, Google Maps and Waze, right? And those are sort of very classic uses of GIS. But people don't realize, I mean, we use GIS very much in our everyday lives. So looking again at the weather patterns, tracking migration. So everybody would be, you'd see those documentaries on National Geographic, people tagging animals and tracking them and things like that. That's part of GIS. Looking at how land use has changed over time and then what sort of impacts it's had on, people, on ecosystems, on things like water resources, for instance. And then, I mean, just like keeping up to date on different trends and different things like that. So GIS it's a really powerful and important tool that's been developed, and we use it very much in our everyday lives. And I just have a couple of careers here that you can do in terms of GIS, which I would have mentioned earlier. But what I want to really talk about is that we in the department, we recognize the need for more GIS use and more of a focus on it in our program. So we actually recently developed, and we have an approved minor in GIS. So it's GIS for applied sustainability, or it's applied GIS for sustainability. All right. And the idea on that particular program is actually we see many, so if you actually, I guess for the people who are interested in the program, you would see, for instance, that we have there's lots of jobs on our social media page that we tend to post. And most of those, like within the last few years, quite a lot of jobs are asking for GIS technicians. So we saw the need for students to actually have the skill sets that they can put on their degrees. So the idea is that when you come in and you do a major in geography, you can actually do a minor in this GIS, and that is actually going to open up your potential for different careers and different jobs, because they're asking very specifically for GIS technicians. So this is actually something that's new, and it's beginning from this September. All right, and I mean, if people are interested in doing it, again, these are just some of the requirements. But even if we have students here who may not necessarily do the major in geography, and you're doing things like international relations, environmental science, biology, communications, or anything like that, this minor is actually a really good complementary skill set that you can actually add to your degree. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And I mean, if people are interested in it, they can always get in touch with us at the department to find out more information.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you spoke about that, Dr. Farag, because people always want to do things that are trendy. And not only that, but there's a gap in the market, obviously. And sometimes, you know, as I said before, people want to make sure that they could get jobs and focus on a career when they are finished doing their degree. So I think it was really key that you mentioned this new program that we have, and it's something that you could minor in. I saw that Dr. Thongs there, she placed in our chat, because I was going to ask that we place in our chat our social media pages. So in case you want to just be okra with what's happening, as you mentioned, you will post vacancies there too. So it's always good if you're interested in the area to make sure you follow the department and make sure you follow what the faculty is doing and just keep in the loop. So she placed the social media pages there. So please take a note of that, all of you who are attending this afternoon. So I'm really glad that we brought that up. So again, ask us your questions, guys. We have about 10 minutes or so again on our Ask UWI session this afternoon, a session that has been designed to ensure that all of you get your questions answered. To sign up with us, to join us here at our beautiful St. Augustine campus at the University of the West Indies. But there's one more thing I wanted to ask, and it's either Miss Ali or Dr. Farag could take this one. But sometimes students want to do the program and they're not sure how they could finance the entire 3 years. And I know that sometimes we have grants and scholarship opportunities. And it's just something I want you all to chat about a little bit in terms of, are there scholarship opportunities or any grants that students can tap into if they're really interested in doing the program, but just not sure how they are going to? Any one of you guys could unmute and take this one.
I can probably tackle it.
Sure.
So there are a lot of, well, the university itself actually offers a lot of bursaries.
Yes.
So the bursaries,
there's a couple hundred actually, Dr. Farag,
yeah.
there's a couple hundred scholarships and bursaries.
Yeah, so there's a lot of options for students, and we often encourage a lot of our students to participate, but sometimes we don't always have students applying. So I'd actually encourage people to apply. And then every year, well, since I've been here, our students have routinely gotten the other scholarships. So through CRIF, for instance, they offer scholarships for students who are doing geography, as well as our other major in environmental and natural resource management. So a lot of students tend to do that double major together because it's very complementary. So there's scholarships with that. And then there also, for instance, a lot of students get paid internships. So we tend to get requests for students to get internships, for instance, through the program. So it's not just on a volunteer basis, but students use that money, for instance, to help fund and finance their degrees. So there's a lot of different options. You know, we have good connections and networks with alumni as well. So the class sizes aren't too big either. So there's a lot of communication with the senior students, so like new students coming in, on how to kind of help finance their program and to sort of see their way through the program itself.
Thanks so much, Dr. Farag. I think that's really important for us to stress here, because there are many opportunities, and exactly as you said, sometimes our students don't apply for these scholarships and the bursaries that we have here at the university. So that's something we have to always encourage them to do. Apply for these scholarships and you will surprise yourself. You may very well qualify and be able to access funds to help pay for your education. So sometimes maybe you just have to have that initial injection to just get into the program, and then a world of opportunities open up for you. And then, of course, there are the internships. And I agree with you, Dr. Farrick. I've heard that the Faculty of Food and Agriculture does have quite a lot of connections. So in terms of internships, it's also something that you can explore. And I also want to remind our attendees here this afternoon that one of the things about this particular major is that it really well combines the academic and the practical. I mean, we just saw some photos of Dr. Farrick and his class in Tobago doing some practical work. So you're able to do the academic and do all the theoretical stuff and also combine that with the practical. I think that's very important too. And Ms. Ali also mentioned it. So that is something, maybe write up some of your Alis. I'm not sure. Do you all have any questions for us? We have Kathleen, Junior, Cassidy. I hope all you guys' questions were answered. And of course, our chat support team is in the background. They're sending information, a lot of information for you guys. So in case you think of any questions afterwards, you have email addresses. I see Mira sent phone numbers. You have links. There's everything there. And we'll also be sending this recording to you after. It will also be on UWI's social media site. It'll be on YouTube if you need to look at it again, maybe just to hear what Saida Ali had to say, or you want to hear what Luana had to say again, or maybe you want to share it with a friend. We're going to have the recording up on YouTube. And again, we ask if you all don't have any more questions, we'll soon be signing off. But just a reminder that our deadline date for applications is July 31st, where you have to apply to come to our University of the West Indies. Yeah. So if there are no more questions, because we gave you quite a bit of information here this afternoon, and I hope you've had all your questions answered. And again, if you were a bit shy, that's quite okay. You can call us or email us afterwards. We are happy to hear from you. So thank you again for joining us at our Ask UWI session in geography. Thank you.